you shared an interesting article this morning, Darren, from the Frontier Centre for Public Policy. Did you say that's some Canadian outfit?
Yeah, it's a Canadian think tank. Yep.
Think tank, right, from Jerry Bowler. So, and he made the point about Gillette. So Gillette, a razor blade company, attracted widespread attention by airing an ad condemning bullying, harassment, and toxic masculinity, and another showing a father teaching his transgender child how to shave. Reaction from the company's target audience was overwhelmingly negative. Thousands of men on social media complained that the advertisements condemned every male as bigoted, sexist, and intolerant. Calls for boycotts of Gillette products seem to have produced a reaction that the corporation had not foreseen. Parent company Procter & Gamble recently announced an $8 billion write-down in the value of its shares, which critics attributed in part to the consumer backlash. So that was an article on September 14, 2020. Right. So it looks like there could be some evidence there. I mean, I'll have to verify those numbers, but it sounds plausible because I remember the backlash at the time. And he also talks about a diversity training program of the Goodyear Tire Company decreed it was acceptable for employees to wear BLM or LGBT apparel, but unacceptable to support statements such as Blue Lives Matter or MAGA. The value of company stock plummeted by 6%. Watch for thousands of police departments to remove Goodyear from their cop car procurement lists. Okay, so that's speculation on their part. But I guess it does show that there could be a backlash because the majority, I think I sent this to you, there was some survey evidence from the UK that was reported on Sky that suggested that woke isn't particularly popular amongst the majority. Let's have a look. Go woke, go broke. New survey finds most Brits dislike businesses preaching about social issues. Is that the impression you get, Darren?
Yeah, I think they're underselling it in the sense of social issues, okay. But it's the problem is it's always the one perspective and it's an exaggerated social issues too. The narrative, that Australia, the UK, United States, are just immensely racist countries founded on race, all that sort of stuff, as opposed to in a more good faith way, raising any issues that come up, and also kind of having a more, if you like, diverse, taking social issues or social justice as it once was known, and something that right and left could both comment on and have something to bring to the table. It's all become kind of one-sided, very aggressive, intolerant of any questioning of okay, I might agree with this bit, but this bit I'm not, all that sort of stuff. That's the problem. And it also then immediately jumps into literally, supporting political candidate A, B, and C over D, E, and F, that type of stuff. Or it certainly, can move into that very quickly. Obviously Trump versus Biden, or, Hillary versus Trump, all that sort of stuff. Going, or in Australia, going after ScoMo, but leaving Elbow alone, that type of thing.
He's been getting a bit of criticism. I'm not sure what you're driving at there. He's in the
election campaign he is because he's got to get out of that sort of Joe Biden bunker and get out there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have. He maybe should have taken Joe Biden's place. Joe Biden's at his best when no one sees him, basically.
He's had a break because he came down with COVID. Hopefully he's on the mend there. I think he's going to be. This is Anthony Albanese, the opposition leader. So I think he's going to be launching their campaign either today or tomorrow in Australia here. But he had a shocker on the first day of the campaign with he couldn't remember the national unemployment rate, which is a pretty bad start. And the media was pretty, aggressive. They aggressively condemned him over that. So
even the Fairfax media?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So no one was sympathetic because it's the sort of thing you probably should know if you're running for that sort of position. If you want to be the prime minister, and you should know one of the key economic statistics. anyway, that's
Well, it's some other stuff, interesting ones. I'm not sure if it was any of the articles we've been sort of sharing, but obviously talking about Disney
yeah.
lately, obviously in their battle with Governor DeSantis in Florida, but even previously, like a year or two ago, when one of their kind of one of the Star Wars actresses, that they got rid of because they didn't like what she was saying in public politically. And then,
What was she saying? What was that about?
I can't remember the exact details. We could, obviously you could probably find it and stick it up in the show notes. There's a woman on, I believe it was the Mandalorian, yeah, on that kind of one of those series that Disney puts out in the past couple of years or so. The ones that are just purely for Disney Plus.
Yeah, Gina Carano.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a campaign on, looks like social media, #fire Gina Carano. So she made some, what The Guardian referred to as abhorrent social media posts.
Not very specific.
Right. Well, I mean,
what they do is they take something that like at least half the population doesn't view as abhorrent, and perhaps way more than half actually don't. And then they just vaguely say this is abhorrent and stuff. And then they get, you can tell when the Guardian starts saying it's abhorrent, it probably isn't all that abhorrent. Did they say specifically in that article what she said?
Yeah. And look, I mean, the comments were probably ill-judged, or they're not.
Well, then what did she specifically
I think
say?
So
Quote.
she appeared to compare the treatment of Republicans in the US to that of Jews in Nazi Germany. So that's essentially
that's not an actual quote. That's just kind of appeared. But anyway, we can find out the specifics.
Yeah, I'll put some links in there.
Find something better than the Guardian. That's not my go-to source for accuracy, I'm afraid. That's up to you.
Well, I'll have a look and I'll put some links in the show notes. But the point is that she was essentially fired for political views, and I guess Disney's
cancelled.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess Disney's concerned. Well, maybe they could lose some viewers, but on the other hand, they can lose viewers if they go woke, so to speak. Or, I mean, one thing that I've seen, I've seen Disney, which owns Marvel now, doesn't it? I've seen it's been criticized because it's turning traditionally male characters into female characters. And there's a prominent YouTuber, he's a critic of this, Nerdrotic is his channel, and he talks about how the MCU is becoming the MSHU. And look, I think there are some great female comic characters out there. And I think I'm not sure why. I guess I'm not sure why we have to turn traditionally male characters into female ones, but this is what Disney's been doing. And it looks like it may have backfired, because they're saying that Hawkeye, I don't know if you saw the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus in the last few months, and Hawkeye is hardly in it. It's basically about this Kate Bishop character who's going to become the new Hawkeye. So she's this young lady played by, it's Haley Steinfeld, and they also had Florence Pugh. She was in there as the Black Widow's sister, and she was in it as well. And I think it was one of their worst performing series ever on Disney Plus. And it's possibly, arguably, because you could say, well, you've got, maybe they embrace the woke in trying to disproportionately, have it in favor of these new female characters. And they had a female villain, Echo, or a anti-hero, perhaps you'd say. And it was, it just wasn't as good a series as it could be. And that was possibly, arguably, because they were trying to be woke.